Baby boomers have faced wars, love, peace, pot, divorce, gangs, and now one of the scariest chapters in our lives. Retirement, aging, health issues, Medicare, wrinkles, grandkids, grandparents. It's time to take a spotlight on health. DFW's Business Authority 1160 AM KVCE presents Spotlight on Health with Susie Black. Now, here's Susie.
Good morning and welcome to Spotlight on Health. I'm your host, Susie Black. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this is your first time listening, I'm a certified nutritionist, always looking for healthy answers. I was reading an article just this morning on a new study on how depressed middle-aged women battling depression are twice as likely to have a stroke compared to women of the same age not suffering from depression. The study was based on women ages between 47 and 52. If this is you or one of your loved ones, you need to seek help. Don't do this all by yourself. There is a better way. For more information on who we are on Spotlight on Health or who I am, you can visit my website at hiddenyouth.com or call my office at 817-280-0466. I'm really excited about my guest today. I actually sought them out to have them on my show. It's Jay Kordich and his wonderful wife, Linda. Jay was born in 1923, and at the age of 25, he was diagnosed with a serious illness. He was actually terminally ill. That was over 65 years ago. However, I want Jay and Linda to tell their story. Jay and Linda, thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having us on.
Oh, I appreciate it because you had to get up kind of early, didn't you?
Yeah, well, we were up a little bit before you called, so that early here.
And you are in Seattle, Washington, is that correct?
Exactly.
Yes.
Oh, wow. How's the weather out there?
Overcast.
Overcast. Well, that's not bad. Okay, Jay, you were 25 years old and you got some really bad news. Now, I do want to throw out that Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." It seems like you took that literally. What happened?
Yeah, well, I was going to USC, University of Southern California. I played football for them. Played in the Rose Bowl when Michigan beat us 49-0, but you still played, and I was getting lackadaisical, slowed down, and that didn't bother me too much. I figured that was just a passing fancy. But when I saw little spots of blood on my shorts, I started to really worry, And so I had myself checked out. They found out I had a growth in my urinary bladder, and put me on, and that was at my doctor's at the University of Southern California. That's where that's the school that I went to, and they diagnosed with a tumor in my bladder, and I said, well, let's what do we do? And so I found out the alternatives and found out the best one of all, the one that was treating Dr. Albert Schweitzer, and that was Dr. Max Gerson. And I figured if Schweitzer goes to Dr. Gerson, I'm going to try to get to him. Just luckily, he had an office down in San Diego or down around that area, and I was able to reach him that way, And I started drinking, and they put me on, as soon as I went down there, they put me on a lot of glasses of juice, and it was really like on the hour, every hour, a large glass of freshly made juice.
What kind of juice?
Carrot apple, basically. But you use a little spinach, you alternate a little bit, a little parsley, and celery was too dangerous because we couldn't find any celery that was organic, So I was on carrot and apple, and it was 13 glasses a day. That was an awful lot of juice for me,
That'd be an awful lot of juice for anyone.
You start drinking a glass of juice in the morning and a large glass of juice every hour on the hour.
Okay, let me repeat that. So when you were diagnosed with this tumor, they put you on carrot and apple juice, no celery. You said a little bit of spinach, so carrots and apples. So what's the magic? What's the magic ingredient? Or not magic? It's not magic. God created them. So what is in carrots and apples that they felt should be the base of your drink?
Well, they felt it had all the properties of life in it, and all the cleansing properties of life, and all the rebuilding properties of life, without getting too technical and without changing and
the structure of nature.
Yeah.
Nature.
Carrot and apple. It's the basic drink on Dr. Gerson's diet.
There's his book really goes into detail on that Susie.
Hey, Linda, why don't you? This is Linda. This is Jay's wife. Why don't you go into detail on your newsletter, your book, the website, how people can get more information?
Oh yes, the newsletter. We have a beautiful 1-week cleansing diet that's all raw. With of course, every day we have 2 or 3 juice combinations that we share. And if you sign up for our newsletter, you get that free. And it's very comprehensive. It's very good. I wrote it with Jay and our staff. And our website is jkordich.com, JAYKORDICH.com, and you can learn more.
That's a good thing to have, yeah.
And you can learn more about all that we do and that we've been doing collectively for over 100 years.
So we're looking at, here's the thing, if you're listening to this and you just want some information, go to JAYKORDICH, KORDICH.com, and this is on my website as well, and it's also on my Facebook page. But if you want to get more information on natural juicing, there's a newsletter, and it's free, guys. Just sign up for their newsletter. So, okay.
Yeah. So, do you want to finish, Jay?
Yeah, the book is terrific. Live Foods, Live Bodies. That hit number 1, right on the New York Times bestseller list. It was really great, but it's got a lot of comprehensive information, a lot of recipes in it. So that's why I urge you to try to find the book somewhere.
Oh, Amazon has it. You can get it for an unbelievable amount. I think like $10 or $11. We can't believe it.
Well, and the thing about it is I don't think people realize how dead our food is, how the enzymes have been killed, how the nutrients have been removed, how synthetic nutrients have been put in that our body cannot metabolize. So I think this is very important.
Yes, raw food is the answer for us. We recommend 75% raw or living and 25% cooked vegan foods, with some grains and especially seeds like quinoa and seeds and nuts, classic seeds and nuts like, sunflower seeds and walnuts and almonds. And we promote a lot of almond milk as well. Our juicer makes really fantastic nut and seed milks as well.
Really? So your juicer will take, because I drink almond milk. I sometimes drink a blend of the almond and coconut milk, but your juicer will actually, take almonds and make it almond milk, a natural almond milk?
Yes, We can do macadamia nut milk, sunflower seed milk. Whole hemp seed milk is the best. It comes out pure white, as if it's like cow's milk. It's amazing. And
what is this? What is this?
Without any cows around, it looks like cows.
There's no cows around. It's hemp, HEMP. And, there's been a lot of negativity spoken about hemp because it is part of the marijuana plant, but I can assure you it does not have any of the PCP properties in it at all.
Wow. And that goes into another one of my questions. Let's say that someone's listening and they cannot get organic, or it's just cheaper for them. They're trying to do this and they're trying to do it on a budget. How do you recommend cleansing produce that was not grown organically?
Okay. Well, one thing that I do, you'll never get all the chemicals that are ingrown out. That won't come out. But you can get all the surface sprays that produce has been sprayed. You can get all the surface spray out with a very simple, magical solution that you do in your own sink. First of all, here's the way you do it. Plug up your sink. Take
cold water
out and fill it about halfway full, the sink halfway full of cold water.
Now, I'm going to say distilled cold water, correct?
Well, yeah, if you can do it. Sure.
Well, not necessarily, because we're just going to soak the produce in it.
Okay.
Yeah, unless your water is really bad in Texas.
No, you know what? I actually do not use anything without using either a reverse osmosis or a distilled. So even my tea, my beans, I cook with distilled water.
Sure. No, us too. But we live up here in the far north, and we get the really pure Cascadian
yes.
the water. So, of course, we don't do it. But, the thing is that once you put all your produce in the water and you go ahead and let's finish the recipe, and then we'll tell you what we think. Go ahead.
Well, the recipe that I use, I fill up my sink about halfway full of water. I plug it up, and I fill it about halfway full of cold water from the faucet, right? And then I add 4 tablespoons of salt, regular salt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then stir it around in the.
So regular salt, not sea salt.
No, not sea. You can use
sea salt. That's
okay.
why I use
Linda
the
uses
sea salt.
Sea salt.
Okay.
I don't like regular salt because it's iodized, And that's the thing, the difference between me and Jay from our ages. We're 33 years difference between us. So he still thinks, that regular salt is okay for filling up the sink. Of
I
course,
don't agree, but I'm with you, Linda. Give us some sea salt.
Yeah, go for the sea salt. So you do 4 tablespoons of sea salt, and then you take a
lemon and cut it in half.
You take a lemon and cut it in half and squeeze the lemon into the water.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. So you take 4 tablespoons of sea salt. Sea salt, Jay, sorry about that. And then you take how many lemons?
1 lemon.
Just 1 lemon.
And squeeze as much as you can of the lemon juice out of it, and mix it up, and then put your produce in there, and let it sit for 5 minutes. And then that's when you want to go ahead and use your filtered water, to cleanse it off. But you have to cleanse it good. We don't want salt on our food.
Yeah,
right.
Swish the produce out real good, and then rinse it really, really good under the faucet,
What a cheap and inexpensive, because they recommend buying all of these chemicals. And I just cannot get into buying a soap to cleanse my produce. And I buy organic anyway, but there's times I got to run in and grab something as a snack. We're going to take a break right now. This is some awesome information. Jay, during our conversation, you talked about the dandelion. When we get back, I want you to talk about other healing herbs that you use in your juicer that actually help turn your health around. This is great information. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
$1160 AM KVCE, your business.
Do you feel guilty sneaking into the kitchen at night eating pancakes, cupcakes, or brownies? Well, I did, but not anymore, and you don't have to either. Hi, I'm Susie Black, host of Spotlight on Health. At one time, I weighed over 230 pounds, and I tried everything: lettuce, carrot, celery, and I thought, gosh, there's got to be a better way. I discovered guilt-free chocolate muffins, cupcakes, even pancakes with 1, 2, or 4 carbs. That's it. If you too are looking for a better way, visit us at Hidden Youth, HIDDENYOUTH.com. Click on Susie's Low Carb Surprise. And I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised at how you can eat low carb brownies, muffins, cupcakes, and even bagels. Again, that's Hidden Youth, HIDDENYOUTH.com. Click Susie's Low Carb Surprise. I believe you'll be pleasantly surprised at the low carb, high fiber options, not to replace those important veggies, but to enhance your lifestyle.
You're listening to 1160 AM KVCE. We return to Spotlight on Health with Susie Black on 1160 AM KVCE.
Welcome back. You are listening to Spotlight on Health. I'm Susie Black. If you're just now tuning in, I have got a great show. Jay and Linda, thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're happy to be on with you.
Oh, and you had talked during our conversation this week that you had added dandelion into your, I guess you call them your healing tonics. Let's go back. I want to talk about that. Let's go back into all the juicing you did, and then I want to talk about some of the other herbs that you add to your juicing that have actually been more healing.
Okay. Well, did you want to know about the greens, like what greens we use?
Yes, and why?
Go ahead, Jay. Well, actually, I'll talk a little bit about some of the most potent ones. Like dandelion greens are really potent. They are so famous for helping the liver and the gallbladder channel of the body. But dandelion greens, as everybody probably knows, are those weeds that grow in your grass.
Exactly.
Flowers, and they're so irritating. We have them all over our front yard a lot because we don't put pesticides on our anywhere in our property.
I don't blame you.
Dandelion greens are just amazing. They're just an amazing healing green, along with the same thing called stinging nettles. And I don't know if you've ever seen stinging nettles or not, but they're another weed. They grow everywhere in the forest, but the reason why they call them stinging nettles is because, man, if you touch them, the leaves on the edges, oh my God.
They got little spikes on them.
They have spikes on them, and boy, does it hurt. But the best thing to do is just find a way to buy them at the store, and I think they wrap them, so you have to be very careful. But when you juice them, it doesn't affect you at all. And that's another powerful liver and gallbladder green tonic.
Yeah, but the potassium broth is is the key to everything.
Yeah, Jay, why don't you
carrot, celery, spinach, parsley. That together is a terrific combination.
Yeah.
And it's as powerful as it is, and as cleansing as it is. It's very, very gentle to the body.
Yeah.
So carrot, celery, spinach, and
parsley. See, now parsley is an herb. It's not a vegetable. It's it's an herb. And parsley also has just amazing effects. It's extremely high in iron, usable iron, not the kind of iron that constipates you, but very, very good usable iron. And it's also a fantastic blood cleanser. If you've ever had, have you ever had the live blood analysis done before?
No, I have not. Mine is pretty much more on the preventative, but no, I have not had that done. What do you do with that?
Well, it's amazing. I urge anybody to do it. They can find it online anywhere, I'm sure. It's called live blood analysis. And basically what they do is they prick your finger and they put it under a microscope, and they can actually see the blood moving around. And there's other things that they have. It's called dark field microscope. It's a different and a unique way of seeing how healthy your blood is. Are the white blood cells nice and round? Do we have any fungus, floating around in the blood, or do we have a lot of
toxins
or maybe our white blood cells are distorted and long and narrow instead of nice and round and plump. That's the way they should be. See, so if you drink, a quart of vegetable juice with a lot of parsley in it for a couple of weeks, if you go in and get your blood, man, you're not going to believe how beautiful your blood's going to look. So that's the proof right there.
So you really so basically the core part, and I'm going to go back into your juicer. I think that's amazing that you can actually put, I've spent so much money on my almond and coconut milk at the grocery store, but you can actually put raw almonds in it and it makes milk. So the almond milk, I think that's awesome.
Yes. Oh, yes. Well, there's techniques we need to do before that. You need to soak the almonds overnight, of course, which is really important. And all your nuts and seeds need to be soaked in purified water, no question. And then you rinse them out in the morning, and then you can just feed them right through the juicer. And you can actually combine nut milks with carrot.
Wow. I bet that's delicious.
It's really delicious. And then you can also combine, let's say, almond milk with pears, or almond milk with apple.
Apple and pear. I like to mix apple with pear.
Yes. Apple with pear with the almond milk.
Yeah.
And then you can also do blueberry almond milk. Children would love that. And almond milk is so full of essential fatty acids. I mean, they're just so
exactly.
important.
Now, question, you could also take the almond milk with blueberries and then actually freeze it and turn it into like a popsicle.
Sure. Oh, yeah, we do that in the summer all the time. Of course, I bet it's hot over there right now, huh?
Not yet, but it's getting ready to be. It's going to be today. This weather here is it's wacky, but it's Texas. Now I've got a question for you because I do juicing also, but not to this extent yet. And we talked about that before. Things are going to change in our house. We're happy to have our hawthorn plant, which is of course good for the heart. We have some alfalfa, but I will be changing up some of these. I had read before about the carrot and the apple juice together, but the celery, the spinach, and the parsley, I think that's huge.
Well, yeah, Jay learned that recipe from Dr. Gerson and Dr. Walker, who were his mentors, his teachers back in the 40s and 50s in America. So that's a classic, what they call the potassium.
That was a staple, yeah.
Now, question: how long, once you were diagnosed with your terminal illness, and you were drinking 13 of these juices a day, how long did it take really for your body to turn around to begin to fight this and actually get rid of it?
Well, within a few weeks, probably about around 3 weeks, I wasn't passing blood any longer, through my urinary tract.
Yeah.
And I was getting stronger. I felt good. I felt like I just started to intensify my intake of juices.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw some progress, boy, did I get into it.
Yeah, well, that's what thrusted his whole career into juicing, was from that experience. I mean, who wants to play football, when you have this kind of thing on your hands?
Exactly. Now, I've got a question for you. This was one of my questions for the show, is Americans aren't eating vegetables. So do you think it's going to be easier for us to drink the vegetables? And how do we get started? Give us a step-by-step. Let's start today.
Well, that's a must, to drink the vegetable juices, because you can't eat all the vegetables raw. I mean, it's impossible.
It's hard to do, and especially children don't like cooked vegetables,
Well,
and
even
who's
the raw
going to eat a plate
vegetables.
of raw broccoli? So, I'll tell you what. I think the best thing to do is if you're a beginner, is to, of course, find yourself a good quality juicer. And how do you do that? What's the criteria for that? You want a juicer that is not going to be spinning real fast, because that spinning causes a lot of friction and heat, and it's not going to. First of all, in friction and heat, they kill
Oxidation too. Yeah, it's going to be negative.
And it also kills the enzymes. So what you want to do is find a juicer that's called a slow juicer. Like ours, of course, is a slow juicer. And the way that you have a good juicer is when you're making green juices, that those green juices come out real dark.
Green.
Like, for example, if you're putting in parsley and spinach and stinging nettles and Swiss chard or escarole or spinach or endive or even wheatgrass, those greens need to be coming out real dark. If they're coming out foamy and light green, you are wasting your money. And that's one of the major criteria. And the other criteria is, you want to make sure you can do all kinds of fruits and vegetables.
Well, the way I do it, I put a little bit of green through my juicer, then I throw a couple pieces of apple in it. That rinses out some of the juice that didn't come out. Then another handful of greens, and then another couple chunks of apple,
Question, how, because we add we do the cherries and the strawberries, we do alfalfa, not sprouts, but alfalfa, some hawthorn, how do you like the flavor of it? Is the almond milk, would you recommend doing that?
What, almond milk with the...
Yes.
That's a good flavor.
It's okay. It's a good combination. It's important to combine your foods properly. You don't want to be putting starches and proteins together, and sometimes you have to be careful. But with nut and seed milks, they go beautifully with vegetables and fruits. But
the apple juice freshly made, along with the greens, really give it a terrific flavor.
Children will drink that up in a heartbeat.
And makes it very palatable
and
too.
Palatable and sweet. But if you're suffering from diabetes, just cut out the apple and just use celery or a cucumber. Cucumber is really good in juices. But let me just tell you the basics. Like if you want to start juicing and you just want to start your basic drinks, you want to buy parsley and spinach and carrot and apples.
That's the
okay.
key.
Say it again slower. You want to buy parsley,
spinach, carrots, and apples.
Okay, so that is your basic core for your juicing.
Yeah, and that anybody is going to love that. Even if you don't love vegetables, it's amazingly sweet. Carrots are naturally very sweet, and so are apples.
We only have a couple minutes left, Linda. I want you to go into detail, and we're going to go. We'll get a little bit more information, but I want you to go into detail on your website, on your juicer, signing up for the newsletter, and for that cleansing that you're talking about.
Oh, sure, yeah. It's if you sign up for our newsletter, you basically get a 1 week's worth of vegan living foods recipes. They're really fantastic. They're part of our book, Live Foods, Live Bodies. And
say the title of the book a little slower.
Yes, Live Foods, Live Bodies.
Okay.
And you can get it on Amazon. You can go to our website and buy it. I think we have free shipping. And so if you go to jaykordich.com, JAYKORDICH.com, you can find everything that we talk about. And this 7-day diet is just fantastic. It'll give you a good idea of how to really jump in and get well. Honestly, we can all be well. We just have to go back to nature.
Excellent. Well, Jay and Linda, I appreciate you so much. Enjoy that wonderful weather in Seattle. And the information is on my website as well at hiddenyouth.com. Their information is also on my Facebook page. Do y'all have a Facebook page real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Well, Linda, thank you. Linda and Jay, thank you so much. And I will have you back on.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Quote of the week. C. Mel Sherbez said, "We would accomplish many more things if we did not think of them as impossible. Over a decade ago, I personally weighed over 230 pounds. I wore a size 20 UGG. Today, I'm a size 2, and I did it all naturally. And yes, I do some juicing. If you're interested in joining my Get Fit and Trim workshop, visit my website at HiddenYouth, HIDDENYOUTH.com, or you can call my office at 817-280-0466. Again, my web address is hiddenyouth.com. I'll be talking more about this next week. We are out of time. Thank you for tuning in. Until next week, God bless you, and get fit, America.
Listen each Saturday morning from 9:30 to 10 to Spotlight on Health with Susie Black as she talks about staying young, active, and healthy issues that affect you. If you have a question for Susie, please call her at 817-540-1022 or email her at susie@hiddennYouth.com. Tune in each Saturday morning from 9:30 to 10 for Spotlight on Health with Susie Black, right here on DFW's Business Authority, 1160 AM KVCE.